And we've known each other for a while. We've worked on a couple of different things together too, professionally. So you're a professional marketer. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to look in the camera and market me, Matt Griswold, real estate agent speaker. Can you do it?
I
think
sure
of something.
can.
What can you think of?
I would say, if you're looking to either buy or sell a home here in Bolivar or just really across the state, Matt Griswold with Neighborhood Real Estate is an excellent partner to have. He'll pay attention to what you want. He'll know your needs. He'll know what you're looking for. He works on behalf of you. So I would give Matt a call, look him up, let him be able to work with you and really know who you are and what you're looking for, and let him help merge that deal for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That'll be the intro.
And we'll send you that invoice later.
Hey everybody, back again with another episode of Why Do You Call Bolivar Home? My name is Matt Griswold with Neighborhood Real Estate, and today I have Miss Linda Bunch with us here from the Marketing Bunch. But a lot of people maybe know her from the Marketing Bunch, but you go back further than that. You are a Bolivar through and through.
I am that old, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Your words, not mine. But do me a favor, introduce yourself.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm Linda Whelan Bunch. I did grow up here in Bolivar. My mom and dad were Howard and Blanche Whelan. They moved here in the mid-50s, have two older brothers. My brother Kenny was 12 years older than me. My brother David was 16 years older than me. They moved here, like I said, in the mid-50s. My dad was the Prudential insurance agent. We lived on West Broadway most of my life, and went away to journalism school at MU and came back, and I call it home.
Yeah, this is the MU mug right here. And even though I'm a Jayhawk fan, we made a special
from Sue Roten. I'll always keep this.
There you go. There you go. So you grew up on Broadway Street in Bolivar. I remember I talked to Louise Wimberly. We did one of these, and she literally lives on Main Street, Bolivar. Broadway's kind of the same.
It kind of is. My parents, when I was born, we actually lived on Lillian Street to start with. Grew up a few years there next to Paul and Helen Roberts, their family. Alan Roberts and I go way back. In fact, his sister married us in a pioneer wedding in the backyard, so he always refers to me as his first wife. But then my dad bought the house on West Broadway in 1964, and it was pretty run down, pretty bad, and his joke always was that he'd owned it for 3 months before he told my mother.
No.
But he remodeled it, and we lived downstairs. We rented the upstairs, had some wonderful neighbors up there. Morris Jean, Sharon Westfall, Doug and Annie Potts. Just to name
I was going to say, I don't know if you knew this or not, but your name has come up on at least one of these other interview videos. Because it came up with Annie Potts. Whenever I interviewed her. And if you don't know the house that Linda's talking about, I bet you do. Because it's right across the street from the Blue Hen flea market
which
now.
I've watched it be several different businesses over the years.
I remember it being like Aardvark Video. I've heard Wade's Supermarket was there.
Supermarket was there.
Yeah.
And what was always, I didn't know this was any different, but my mom and I would walk across the street, get our groceries, and the bag boy, whoever actually Daryl Parrish one time was, they carried our groceries into our kitchen. They'd walk across the street and actually put them in our kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Annie going, it was perfect because she had a new baby at the time. The grocery store was across the street. Doug was coaching football behind the house. And it's that big red brick building
tall
right there.
White porch post is what we always kind of say.
The way she told it, they didn't have a place to live. They didn't know where they were going. They had a little pickup truck that pulled in 1966. And I don't know, do you know how they found you? Or
Bud Engelman. Yeah.
Bud Engelman.
Bud Engelman was taking Doug around, and he was a superintendent or principal at the time. I don't remember which. My dad was working on the house, and they pulled in.
Yeah.
And he showed it to Doug, and Doug took it, and Annie knew nothing about it.
She said it was great.
She
said she was pregnant at the time, and it was on the second floor, and she said, I didn't even mind walking up the stairs. Which
they were good neighbors. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So what was your childhood like growing up here in Bolivar?
I had a great childhood living there on Broadway. Wade's was across the street. And then just down the street was the Dairy Queen.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the high school behind me. In the middle, it wasn't middle school then, it was Mitchell Junior High.
Right.
And I could ride my bike everywhere. I could skate everywhere. Growing up, I had great friends that would come over. Beth Bruce Lawler just lived a couple of blocks over, and we would go back and forth. I wasn't very far from Jan Kirby, Becky Paget, Debbie Kanzler used to come down. This is back in the day when you didn't have air conditioning or central heat or anything. So in the summertime, my back window would be open, and Debbie could kind of just come up, and about 6 o'clock, in the morning, she'd come, wake me up. I'd get dressed. I'd tell my mom and dad, I was going out with Debbie. We get on our bikes. We would drive, just ride around town, and we'd go get donuts at Merritt's Donut Hole.
Where was that?
That is where Brenda's is.
Okay, that was great. And you mentioned Dairy Queen. That was actually over like where Oseo is now?
It's down where Bryant Chastain has his.
State Farm, okay.
Yeah, I know, on the corner there.
I heard that. I don't remember that at all.
That was
I guess
great, And so we just had a really good time. You'd stay out in the summer all day long. The whistle would blow at noon, and we would show up at, somebody's house. One of our moms would have lunch ready for us. You'd switch and change into your bathing suit, and the 1 o'clock whistle would blow. You'd be at the pool with the sand bottom.
Right, which is where the Cribs basketball park is now.
It is,
yeah.
And you'd swim and play there until the 6 o'clock whistle blew, and you went back home, or, played a lot of ball. Tennis, golly, I got my brother's old tennis racket, and I could walk up Lillian Street and cut over to Pike and get there at the old courts that were on the old campus.
Wow, yeah.
And just play. It was a good childhood. I have no complaints about it. We were a lot of what I call like free range kids.
Yeah.
And it just really was. And our parents took good care of us, and there was a network of parenting.
Yeah.
Lots of friends. Trick or treating, you start on one side of the town and you go all the way. Your parents would drop you off, on the far side of town, and then you'd work your way back to your house.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where we were.
Yeah.
You stopped by the Dunnigan house, got a full-size candy bar.
I've heard that too.
A lot of fun painting the windows on the downtown businesses at Halloween time. The Optimist Club had a contest. Yeah. So no, I caught the bus a couple of blocks away from my house, and I just had great neighbors, great community, and I think that's what I love the most about it. And that's kind of what I like about Bolivar. I raised my kids in that same atmosphere too.
So if we ask the question of why do you call Bolivar home, you're kind of giving us the answer.
Oh, I think so. I think it's a wonderful place to make memories. It's really good. Of course, we all look back, a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Things maybe weren't quite as good as I think they were. I've asked my mom and dad, they might see it a little bit differently. But, they grew up in the Depression. So we did, I remember sayings that my mom used to say. I can't repeat the ones my dad used to say. But, things like waste not, want not.
Sure.
We're not rich, we're not poor. We spend our money wisely.
Yeah.
And, I just think the values that we had, kindness, your neighbors, everybody was a neighbor. They took care of each other. And I think the memories that you can make in Bolivar are great. And I think, I can't live on those memories, but I can relate them to my kids. Yeah. My kids live here, my grandkids.
Right.
And, I just think it's a wonderful place, to make memories and build for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of student were you?
I was a good student.
Were you? You were one of those.
I was afraid not to be. Talking about my dad. So my dad used to say, I remember one time my friends were like bragging at school because they got money, for their good grades. So I went home, marched into my dad and said, hey, I got A's. What am I going to get? What will I get, for my good grades? And my dad goes, it's not what you get for the good ones. It's what you'll get if you don't get them.
Right. Yeah. It's what you're not getting for the
And so I enjoyed school. Yeah. Had a lot of fun. Great teachers. Like I said, and then my friends, we just ran in packs. But in high school, I was involved in many things because I just enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Of course, where I lived there also on West Broadway, keep in mind the junior high and high school was like in my backyard. So I just cut through my neighbors' yards to go to school and open lunch hour. I came home for lunch almost every day, and my mom had lunch ready for me.
The days
friends
of the open
friends
lunch.
would come with me. What's your mom fixing today?
Yeah, that's something I don't know. I don't know if it works. So many both parents work now
Right. Yeah.
out of the house. But
Yeah.
man, the open lunch hour. What a cool
Oh, it was
concept that would
really
be.
cool. Of course, my dad had his office right there in our house,
Okay.
and my mom worked with him.
Yeah.
And so that's where I probably got best acquainted with a lot of the community, because they would stop by our house, pay their insurance premiums. I can't come up with enough, fingers to tell you how many times people sat at our dining room table visiting with my dad. And my mom would always have a pot of coffee on. She'd have cookies, she'd have cake. We fed them for dinner. And I think, I credit my mom and dad a lot for who I am, good and bad. But really, I watched them serve.
That was to say, that's the
I
actual
watched them
service
serve.
there.
And my mom did so many things behind the scenes, that people didn't see. My dad was out working with a lot of people at the time in the insurance business, where he went into the homes of an evening. And my dad was very disciplined in his work. Again, children of the Depression. Mom had 11 in her family. My dad grew up on a dairy farm with cows and goats, and his dad immigrated to the United States from Germany when he was 12 years old.
Okay.
So strong work ethic, lots of kindness, lots of service. And my dad once told me, he really didn't sell insurance. He listened to people. He was in their homes. He paid attention to their family, got acquainted. He'd bring vegetables home every summer. We had all kinds of stuff, but he listened to what their needs were. Yeah. And he never did approach it as a sales. And I think that's one of the first things.
A lot of relationship building.
Quite a bit, you know.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the Methodist church, and, so many good couples over there that raised all of us. And friends I still have today, Cynthia Kuhn, Debbie Kanzler, Jan Kirby, Ron Hutchison, Vance Thomas. We just had a class reunion, and it was just really good to see everybody. We stay in touch, quite a bit.
Yeah. So you said class reunion, class of?
76.
Class of 76.
Yeah, we were the bicentennial class.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys get together every homecoming still?
Well, we haven't, but we were talking about doing that because, we're at the age where you need to kind of keep getting together while you remember why you're doing it and who you're doing it with. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
I was at the homecoming parade this year, and I love to go, but it's really cool to see all the old floats of the class of 70, So but there's several of them. There's a bunch
There really is, yeah.
Right?
So we kind of talked about doing that, but it's, going back to why I like Bolivar, I look back to those friendships that I built through church and through school. I see my kids did it. My daughter is Annie Thomas, married to John. They live here. The grandkids grew up here. I see their friendships that they had. My son, Jesse Ankrum, and his wife, Lindsay, and their kids are involved. There's something really nice about seeing those relationships kind of pass down and continue to do it. Yeah. And I love the fact that there's a lot of new people that move into Bolivar. Yeah. I always tell all the girls that I work with, because most of them have moved in here, it's like I got to have a dry erase board to be able to plot out all the different patterns from everybody. But it's just, it's not a perfect place, but I don't know that there is one in this side of heaven. So
and you worked pretty closely, I know, with Jesse. Logistically, I guess your office, the chamber office is right next door to the law firm there, Ankrum Law Firm on the square. And it's cool. Also, I've had other people mention this. I think Louise mentioned this too. The generations that choose to stay in Bolivar and build a business, and we have several of those generational.
Things. And I like that. Again, I think it's a great mix of new people moving in and those that have some roots here as well. And I always think, when you come out of high school, you think, oh gosh, I want to go do everything. And I think that's fine. I think everybody has a place they're supposed to be. Yeah. And I think it's, don't shortchange the folks who stayed here and are building businesses, and don't speak negatively of those who left and went off to do something else. Everybody has a place they're supposed to be, but it is kind of nice. And you talk about the chamber, that is one of the clients that we manage. And we took that on as a 3-year gig, and I think we're in year 13 now.
Right. Yeah.
But it keeps us in touch with everybody in the community, and we love it. We really do.
Well, one of my hats is a chamber board member, and I know you guys, the marketing bunch, do a great job of keeping us, moving forward and keeping it. I don't know if holding accountable is maybe it is, but I know we rely on you all a lot to help us accomplish the things that we accomplish for the city.
I can't say enough about the folks who work with me in our bunch, and they're just they're just good. And it's not just a job, they go beyond that, and they think about what has to be done. And we like that. The work that we do, it's a lot of satisfaction in helping others succeed. And that's a lot what we do, whether it's like the chamber or a business or a political campaign or fundraising, a lot of not-for-profit work. But it's good. I love that.
So you graduated in 1976.
Yes.
Why journalism? What was it about journalism that you wanted to pursue?
Well, that's kind of a good story. I'd never really thought about it. In high school, like I said, I was involved in a lot of different classes, clubs. I just really liked. A lot of wide interest, lots of things. I was in an accident in my junior year and had a lot of facial and teeth damage. And bless dear Don Jump's heart, he tried desperately, to help me not lose some teeth. But he said, I don't think you need to play your clarinet anymore. He said, I think you'll push it out, you'll lose your tooth. Now, I'd been in band since 5th grade, and here I was in 11th grade, and that was a hard one. So my senior year, I had to find a class for that first hour. I had a choice of journalism with Randy Jones or shop. Now, I liked Arthur Lee Stevens. That was okay, but at that 76, you got to remember. Shop girls weren't in there. Too much. And I was already signed up to work on the yearbook at the 7th hour of the day. And Randy let me in and let me take both of them. And by the time I got in there, everybody else already had jobs, assignments. They needed a circulation manager. And then that was the year that they switched from running it off on the old mimeographs. I'm speaking before your time here,
I'm just nodding.
Cutting the stencils, and it was pretty bad looking. And Randy had worked it with the newspaper for us to be able to come down and actually lay it out like a newspaper and put it on their press. The problem was they needed somebody to typeset all the copy. And I was a fairly decent typist. Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. And nobody else wanted the job. And I said, I can type. And so I went down to the newspaper office and I learned how to type on the CompuGraphic Junior, and it was about the size of half of this table and taller than you, and it's a huge computer and you typed on it. And so that's how I learned, and I kept showing up down there. And Jim Sterling and Jack Zimmerman and Randy Jones are very instrumental in the career that I've had. I hung out down there. Clarice Coker, Brenda Cloyd, they all kind of took me under their wing and helped me. And I learned how to do that. And so during high school, when they needed extra help, Jim hired me to do that. And then when I graduated from high school, and he said, hey, you want to work this summer? He said, what do you think about advertising? Do you think you like advertising? And I said, oh, yes, I do. And I'm thinking, I just want to make some money. And I filled in while somebody was on vacation. And Jim sent me with my yellow legal pad around the square to go in and call on people for their ads. And I went in to see Obie Jester at Jester's.
Jester's Jewelers?
It was they had
Springville County.
They had the soda fountain, they had all the dishes, gifts. It was a great place over there on the east side of the square. And he bought an ad from me. It was like his 15th or 20th anniversary or something or other. And I came back with an ad from there, and Jim goes, he's never bought an ad from us. He goes, you want to stay in advertising? and so I did, and I worked there while I went to SBU or SWBC at the time for another semester or two. And then Jim really helped me get into journalism school at NU. And the reason I liked journalism and I liked advertising, just the variety.
Yeah.
And then I think it just really took in all my background with my dad, doing, kind of client work and sales, my mom and her hospitality. I took the journalism, my speech and debate that I had, and just so many things, all the home ec consumer behavior classes I took. And it just it just fit.
Yeah. And
Jim helped me get into journalism school. He helped me get a full-time position on staff at the newspaper, the Columbia Missourian, and I paid my way through school at that time. And my kid's dad was going to law school at the time, and we did well. And then Jim hired me to do some research. Yeah, we did some consumer research, customer interviews with the newspapers, and then hired me back when we got out of school.
Okay, how long did you work for Jim then?
Oh, for Jim, I worked from probably about 8 years altogether.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when Annie was born, I worked part-time, and it just, I had more businesses. I would go out to see them about their ads, and we did a lot of different promotions. I got to work, which was very cool, when the hospital was opening.
Oh, yeah.
I worked on the special sections for that. And so I got to go out, and while I could see the construction, I got to meet all the new people, met Don Babb, Gary Fulbright, Kathy Mulder, and worked with them on putting all that together. Then the next year, when they were doing a 1-year anniversary and we were putting that together, I did that, and I was pregnant with Annie at the time. And they just kept seeing me out at the hospital all the time. And when we finished it published, I think, like on a Wednesday, September 28th. And I went into labor Thursday morning, September 29th. And when I showed back up out of the hospital, they were just like, hey, your section's done. What are you doing out here now? I said, well, I'm going to have a baby.
Yeah.
And
took good care of you.
So from that point, I just started having more businesses ask for more things than just their newspaper, or I couldn't help but think, hey, in addition to your newspaper ad, you could probably do this, do this, do that. So Joe Rail had me do some work for his banks, and then actually Don Babb hired me as a consultant. They didn't have a marketing department or community relations. And so that was like one of my first clients.
Wow.
Wayne Clark, Missouri Telephone, back before it was Alltel, back before, it was Windstream. And so I got to work for them. Doug Roller, Micromagic. Yeah. So it just kind of, one thing has always led to another. And I'm really thankful for that, Yeah. And my kids will tell you, I've used them, I've used my grandkids in ads and commercials and programs, but it has been a good career for me. And I think it's been good for those who've worked with me. We've got a lot of, over the years, some single moms. We've got people taking care of parents, raising kids, the flexibility we've had. And then I think I love what we do to help small business. I love what we do to help our community. And that's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, and I'm sure the answer is maybe a long one, but how has advertising and marketing changed from when you know what I mean? From when you first started versus what you're doing now?
Oh, yeah.
Like the evolution of that.
Sure. And there have been quite a few changes, in the delivery of it. Early on, people would say, oh, I need a new ad, or I need a new brochure.
Yeah.
And then it went to, oh, I need a website, I need a Facebook page, And then now it's even gone beyond, we got AI and all these other things. And
you go from creating like trifolds.
Yes,
and now it's like a video world.
Oh,
no
very,
print,
very technical,
like video. And it's got to be short.
The early years, we produced everything. Yeah. And like when and print was really king of most everything. And it was we had these big clip art books you could flip things out of. But if you needed something, original, Keith Robinson. Oh man, probably one of the most, if not the most creative, intelligent person I probably ever worked with. And coming with that creativeness comes a lot of other issues too. Yeah, the number of times that my kids would get up in the morning and go, "Mom, Keith's sleeping on the living room floor again." But he would do artwork for us, and everything was put together by hand.
Yeah.
A lot more consumer research, I think now. Mm-hmm. A lot more paying attention to what your consumers are, a lot more target marketing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the delivery, you've got different, the technology has improved so much.
You have to Google the SEO stuff.
Oh,
and the
targeted... it just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Yes. But we preach this a lot too. You can have all those ways to deliver. It always comes back though to relationships.
Yeah,
you have to have those relationships. You can do that maybe through a Facebook ad. Sure. Maybe you can do that on a billboard. They see you, it accents. But again, if you're not connected with your customer, or your donor or whoever, your voter, whoever it is, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So it really is all about customers and that relationship that you have.
Yeah. And we've known each other for a while. We've worked on a couple of different things together too, professionally. Fun. So you're a professional marketer. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to look in the camera and market me. Matt Griswold, real estate agent, speaker. Can you do it?
I
think
sure
of something.
can.
What can you think of?
I would say, if you're looking to either buy or sell a home here in Bolivar or just really across the state, Matt Griswold with Neighborhood Real Estate is an excellent partner to have. He'll pay attention to what you want. He'll know your needs. He'll know what you're looking for. He works on behalf of you. So I would give Matt a call, look him up, let him be able to work with you and really know who you are and what you're looking for, and let him help merge that deal for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That'll be the intro.
And we'll send you that invoice later.
I thought about that on the way out here. I was like, I'm gonna put her on the spot because we've known each other for a while, and this is when it's kind of fun. I got to work with you as an MC. I've also bounced things off of you from a marketing perspective. I've worked with you through chamber stuff as well, and so I've enjoyed the relationship.
And again, I think that goes back to another reason I like Bolivar so well. In a large community, I might not have those opportunities to be intertwined with so many different things. That's the beauty of it, And again, it all goes back to the relationships.
Yeah.
And I'm a very firm believer, all of us have been gifted with skills, unique skills and abilities. And you use them where you are. You're where you're supposed to be, and just use them that way. Yeah.
So when did the marketing bunch become a thing? And it wasn't tough to think of the name, maybe, right? Because tell me where that
it actually started out 40 years ago.
Okay.
And didn't have the name then. It was Anchor Marketing at that time. And then my husband Dan and I got married. Do you remember the 2007 ice storm?
Oh yeah.
And that's when Dan and I got married. I had actually, I was doing consulting work for St. John's Hospital over in Lebanon.
Wow.
And he's from Lebanon, and we got introduced by some mutual friends there. And we got married in the 2007 ice storm, which Billy Russell was our pastor.
Yeah.
And he called me the night before the wedding, and things are crashing down. They're everywhere, ice area. And I think I can say this. I hope I can. And he goes, Linda, I can't remember. Did you say you'd get married again when hell froze over or Bolivar froze over? Can I say that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
And so
I love Bill.
And so we were looking for the name change, and Sue Roten, a very dear friend, and we'd worked together for a number of years, and she was part of our group. She's really the one that came up with the marketing bunch.
Okay.
Playing off my last name.
Playing off the last name there, yeah. And I know you talked about the team just a little bit. Well, what are some of the most exciting projects that you guys feel like you get to work on?
Oh, wow.
I know it's hard to without forgetting something.
I look back and we were involved quite a bit, with CMH on different projects there. We helped them set up a foundation. We worked on a lot of the different materials, and Polk County Community Connections is something I'm very proud of, being able to be involved with that. And this is in its 30th anniversary coming up there. We have Missouri Beef Days.
That's become huge.
It is, and that was thought about for a number of years. Go back to when Keith Stevens, actually, with the Cattlemen's Association, was on the chamber board. And it goes back to Dorothy Isdell, who did a lot of work with ag community. And we realized agriculture and the beef industry was so big here in Polk County, it just made sense to try to do something, to kind of capitalize on that. Appreciate, all the people that work in that industry, kind of celebrate our area here and try to educate people, on that industry. So Beef Days has been pretty big. We were privileged to be able to work on with a local candidate. I knew him when he was running his gas station, and then we were able to work for Governor Parson.
Yeah.
So that was very good.
Yeah, and I don't know. You tell me. It's marketing. You'll have a better answer for this, but to me, it almost seems like marketing is the thing that's I'm putting the client out in front, and you're almost. I don't know. Do you prefer to be kind of behind the scenes, right? Yes. It's not about you. It's about your promoting.
Like I told you when we started, I'm much more comfortable on the other side of that camera. But yes,
But what a weird place to be. Like my job is to this, but I'm behind the scenes.
No, we do. And you can talk to anybody in our group and they all prefer it that way.
Yeah.
We do. We like that. Like I said, there's a lot of satisfaction in helping other people succeed. And that's what we get to see, whether we're developing a logo, we're helping to put strategic planning together. Anniversary events. We just finished, with some big, really cool things for Bolivar Technical College. Mm-hmm. What a gem we have here in Bolivar. And, Bolivar Educational Advancement Foundation, love working with them when you think about the number of scholarships that they're giving out. So we do that. We've worked with golf tournaments. We've worked with candidates, a lot of fundraising. We like that behind the scenes. Yeah. It's not about us.
Satisfaction that you all have maybe as a team of going.
We really do.
You're fist bumping behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'll tell you Sue's story on that one too. Because Sue and I would work on different social media. We'd work on news releases. We'd work on lots of stuff. And Sue, one day she said, because we were doing things for a bunch of different clients here. And Sue goes, do you kind of feel like that guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz?
Right. Pulling all the levers and making sure everything goes right.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
But and I think that, it's just really not been about us. We do love helping other people. And I love to see the small business. I love to see those entrepreneurs that want to have a dream and want to do something. And then I think we like fundraising. We help a lot of good causes.
Yeah.
And,
You've had a lot of professional experiences here, great experiences, and we won't, if you have others, we don't have to talk about the others, but you have great experiences there. And I know you're defined a lot by the marketing bunch. However, tell me more about you. Like, what else do you like? What's important to Linda?
Grandkids,
family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't see it. It's in the frame. We are in your living room here, but there are two dining tables. There's another dining room table. We had options of where we wanted to sit. There's so much seating for you and Dan living here.
Yeah.
In fact, here's a pop quiz for you. Do you know how many seats you have on the front porch? How many chairs do you have on the front porch?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you count the lounge chair, maybe 10.
14.
14?
There are 14 places for people to sit on the front porch.
I guess I'm missing
And I saw that coming in, and I asked Rhiannon, I said, go ahead and knock on the door. I'm going to finish counting these chairs over here. And I thought, what an interest, but that's also a little insight into you. Like you love to host, you love to have the house full.
That's the reason we built, and we're very blessed, to have our home. And my husband built it. And
he designed it.
He did. And then Ed Kurtz helped us, and then Aaron Sharp helped us. And I mean, it was, but Dan, this is he's retired Army. And then he was in the construction business, had his own company for a number of years. And then he retired, and then he jokes he married me and he came out of retirement.
Right, more projects.
And he is kind of our main guy behind the marketing bunch when something has to be figured out or logistics and so forth. But we feel very blessed, that we were able to build a house here, and we wanted it to be something that people could come to, and that we could host and we could have, and the grandkids come and we do graduation parties. We have our Christmas and Thanksgiving. I host my mom's side of the family here, and it is good. It's
are those some of your favorite traditions?
Yeah. There's very few left on my mom's side of the family. Out of a family of 11, we're down, I think, to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cousins. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Did a lot of them grow up here?
None of them.
Okay, I was going to say that.
None of them. We're all spread around. Now, the interesting part on that, like I said, I never really had any family here.
Yeah.
Distantly, my mom, we were kind of related to Ruth Dickensheet, Milton Dickensheet's mom. Yeah. And I grew up a lot with Lisa and Sally and Betty and Barbie. And but as far as close family, no, it wasn't until, and I do have relatives now that live in Bolivar. Sandy Kruger.
Yeah.
Lori Seckler.
Okay.
Their mother, Karen Brown, is my first cousin. Karen's dad and my mother were 2 of the bottom kids of the 11, 2 of the 3 there. And so they eventually all kind of landed here for various reasons.
Yeah.
And so that's my family here now, but most of my family is away.
Do you cook for everybody when they come here? Are you the cook?
Golly, my husband will see this, won't he? Shared responsibilities a lot of times.
Okay.
A lot of potlucks people bring in. Breakfast. That's probably our main meal that we have. And so we do a lot of breakfast. The staff comes out, we have breakfast. My granddaughter, Josie, who's a senior this year, is a part of a K-Life group.
Oh, yeah.
And so her small group will come. They came last year. They're going to come this year to help me decorate for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And so this year we're going to do a breakfast for them. So Dad grills a lot. So, and we don't do fancy meals. We just have food.
Sure. Yeah. So just have food.
Yeah, I'm not a gourmet cook at all, but I think maybe you'll go away not hungry.
Yeah. So you talked about grandkids being one of those things that really is impactful in your life. And I know I've seen you leaving tennis tournaments and, chasing it. Is that what you enjoy doing though? Like
I do.
You want to be involved in what they're involved in?
I really do. I tell people, I don't quilt, I don't golf, I don't, play cards. Grandkids are the hobby.
Yeah.
And we have, between Dan and I, we have 16.
Great.
Now we've got family on, out in Washington. We got some on the East Coast. We got some here over in Lebanon, but locally, we have 7 here locally. Yeah. And so, we did 2 ball games last night, pretty much any sport, piano recital, guitar recitals, music, concerts, all of those things. But and it goes back, my folks, they both died in the 90s, 91 and 98. My mom died in 91. My kids were real little. And my mom had great faith. And she said she really had no real regrets other than, and she knew she was dying. She said, I won't get to see your kids grow up. Mm. And that's kind of the hardest part of all of it. And so I have always just said, if I have the opportunity to go watch my grandkids, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it to honor my mom. And I love it. I just do.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You grew up watching Jesse play a lot of sports. Was Annie into the sports too?
Oh, Annie was a big cheerleader.
Okay.
Yeah, and went to state a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
And she was really into music and FCCLA. And so they all had events. I went to state meetings with her. And then Jesse, name a sport, and he had the ball in his hand, and he and I spent a lot of times traveling in cars together, and good times. We were pretty close, yeah.
So you mentioned a lot about your kids, grandkids, of course, professional life. What's your legacy? What is the thing that you were hoping? I mean, you just talked about, I'm hoping to be able to pass these things on that I learned from my parents. What are the things that you're hoping to pass on that maybe they would also think?
Maybe that, she did what she could with what she had.
I think that's brilliant, right?
That's why I go back. I'm not any different than anybody else. I think God has blessed us all. I think be kind. You know, grace wins out. I'd rather apply grace than be right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is.
That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep.
Well,
If you think about that, yeah.
I think as you get older, you realize the battles aren't that big.
That's right.
And it pains me now to see so many people argue, and you can have debates, and I can disagree. Yeah. I don't like it when we hate people, or because maybe you think of something differently than I do. Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to hate me, nor does it mean I have to hate you. Yeah. I just wish people would be kind.
Mm-hmm. You know, somebody reached out to me. I had the opportunity to preach last week in Nixa for a friend of mine who's a pastor of a church, and he reached out to me and he said, man, I've been watching you, the things that you're doing and how you're living kind of this with no regrets and inspiration. And I thought, I don't think it's that we live without regrets. I think a lot of people have regrets, but how do you choose to, what's the action based off of that? And I choose not to do this, but I choose to live a life that inspires other people. And
that's it.
And that's the thing. Hey, I can dwell in it, but that's not how I am. What else can I do to inspire other people?
I think, legacy, and my kids can attest to this very truly. I'm not a perfect person. I've made some tremendous mistakes and hard ones. And I think, though, I always tell, we have a lot of interns and apprentices that come and work with us and job shadowing. And I think we had more than 200 over the past 40, 50 years on stuff. But I always try to tell them there's no wasted experience. Mm-hmm. Don't make excuses for something, educate yourself on it. And then there's no wasted experiences if you learn something, and then take it on. I try to teach the kids too. Wherever you are, Colossians 3:23 is kind of what I always bank on. Whatever you do, you do it as unto the Lord. Yeah. And so I tell these kids, hey, there's nothing we're going to ask you to do in our business that we're already doing. We all take turns scrubbing the toilet. We all take turns doing these things. But do it to the best you can, because that opens up the door to the next opportunity, So don't waste those experiences. Yeah. So maybe that's what I would say also. Yeah, that's great.
That's great. Yeah. Do you feel like we've covered
probably more than
I want to make sure that I ask you anything else that you were hoping to. To borrow a phrase, it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life. Yeah. It's pretty good. I agree. It's been a good gig. Yeah. There's days I'm very frustrated. There's days, things don't go well. Yeah. And especially I think in our business, because we're trying to get goals met. We're trying to please people. We're trying to take a big responsibility on what we do for them. Mm-hmm. And got a lot of personalities, a lot of different things we can't control anymore. Yeah. But overall, I think you just kind of, it's a good life. Yeah, it's a good life. And I think that's what you can have in Bolivar, is a pretty good life. That's right. And you talked about different places. I'm going to finish with this, but you talked about different places that you grew up and that you lived throughout in town there. You also told me a story of a house on Main Street where you walked the mortgage payment because you financed it through your neighbor there, right across from Methodist Church. Yeah,
Isn't that it really Main Street? Was. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Actually bought that at an auction. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving. Okay. Was there with my former father-in-law, Buck Ankrum, which I love dearly. Buck, yeah. And I bought it. We bought it, and paid $10,500. Which was a lot of money, at that time. Oh, yeah. And the neighbors living next door, the Bishops, elderly couple, and he came over and he offered to loan us the money, and we made a payment to him. Yeah. Which is great. Well, where else are you going to do that? That's a pretty cool thing, Yeah.
Well, right now, Rhiannon, my wife and I were just in there the other day because Kyle Sini and his wife from Stellar.
Telling me he's going to hand me back over. Yeah.
They're flipping it, and man, they have gutted it. And took it to the dirt floor, and I was like, man, but he said he's going to have you over when they're done to walk them through it. So shout out to Kyle and Megan there. They're doing good. They're great people.
They are good people. But I
just think it's a neat story, though. Who else can do that?
And I think that's not, I'm not the only person. We're not the only people. I think if you talked around, there's a lot of people that help each other out quite a bit.
Yeah.
My dad, like I said, selling insurance or helping people with it. And this is back on Springfield Street. Randy Newland, great friend of his, had the Conoco station up there. Right next to it was Bishop Wilhite Motors, Dan Bishop, and my dad. This is kind of where he hung out. And there were times that people couldn't pay their premiums, and my dad paid them.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if that was legal to do or not, but anyway, and he helped them out.
Yeah.
And, and they repaid him, or sometimes maybe they didn't. And you just did that.
But that's the grace wins out thing.
See, that's it. About. Yeah. And I prefer to live
like
by
that.
grace.
Yeah.
A lot of it's been granted to me, so I want to do my best. Yeah. Again, I'm not perfect. You can ask my kids.
Okay. Last one for real this time. I was meeting with Jean Vincent, Jean Vincent, and she dropped a piece of history on me that I had known, I guess I didn't, for maybe I forgot, but how Pretty Boy Floyd was in Bolivar at a time, and this crazy story that she shared about they handcuffed a state trooper to the car and drove to Kansas City to escape or whatever. And do you have any nuggets of history that might be like, what? I had no idea. Do you have something like that? It doesn't have to be in the criminal world. It can be a positive story.
No, but I can tell you a story about Jean.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about Jean.
Yeah. So growing up, like I said, my eldest brother David was 16 years older, and my brother Kenny was 12. They both passed away, and I do miss them dearly, but I got great stories from them. And then Jean is around their age. And when I was probably about 5 or 6, up on Lillian Street, and my dad was looking for my brothers one day, and he said, where are your brothers? And I said, oh, they're with that goof-off girl. I couldn't say poof-off. So I thought people were saying goof-off. They're with that goof-off girl. Yeah.
Each one of these interviews is fun. Now you're telling a story on Jean. Jean told a story on Mark Stevens. And every time I go to somebody, Louise had a story about everybody.
Louise does,
and, but it's fun. And just, you mentioned other names like Ken Bruce. I've done one of these with Ken Bruce.
Bruce gave me one of my first jobs. He and Weldon Hegley was friends with his daughter, Beth. Yeah. And Ken ran the Speedway concessions out there. And so Beth got to get friends. And I think we worked on a Saturday night. I want to say we made $3 and you got a Coke and candy bar. And I was probably in 7th grade. Yeah. And about that same time, Weldon Hegley hired me to do inventory when he was buying and selling some stores. And again, those came because, again, relationships, people that you knew and they could vouch for you. And that's what I think is really important, Take care of the people around you, do a good job wherever you are. Yeah. And Lord kind of takes care of the rest of it.
Take your time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you get leads off of the ad I did for you, I do expect royalties.
Hey, till next time, everybody. Bye-bye.